All right, friends. We are going to talk about nutrition and supplements today, which I really do. I really dig the nutrition that doTERRA has put together for us, and I want to tell you a lot of details about what's gone into it, and maybe how it kind of would compare to some other choices that you could be making about supplementing your nutrition base. I'm looking forward to telling you about all those things. But first, let me tell you, I'm just going over a couple little housekeeping points. Um, I love when you guys comment. In fact, I'm going to give you your first question to make a comment on. So question number one is, are you the type of person who regularly takes supplements? You can type that in the chat here. If you are not listening to this live, then you are going to get the Google form link that we'll put it into the show notes, and you'll find it in the Facebook group and things like that. But go ahead and answer there as well, and I'll tell you guys why in just a minute. The basic thing is you're going to want to participate in this, and if you are watching from your phone, you'll want to tap the screen, and then you'll see the participants button that looks like a talk bubble. And after you tap on that, then you'll see the chat portion appear at the bottom of the participants list. So you'll just type in your answer, and if there's other things that you want to see what everybody else is saying, you'll see like an extra little bubble appear above there. So that's how you do that. And you'll probably want to know, why should I bother? Here it is. So we're doing all 8 of these in a row, and these oil education classes are intended to really, really support you with your new doTERRA products. So depending on what you've got, sometimes people start with just something super small and they only have like 5 oils in their home. And sometimes people start with a much larger kit and they have all the supplements and everything already together. But wherever you're at, or even if you've had them for a while, this particular series I think is very supportive for everybody. So we are right now on nutrition and supplements class number 2. That means that if you missed number 1, you're only a week late in the game. It's totally easy to catch up, especially with the Google form, right? So we can even put the previous Google form in the comments section as well if you need to drop back and listen to that. So, and you see down here, we're going to have you guys earn a free diffuser. The diffusers are fantastic. I have kind of gone through and picked a couple that would be really useful, and you guys get to tell me which one you want. So this one, for example, is very small, super portable. For having such a small area for putting the water in, this one tends to run for a lot longer than what the box tells you it's going to do. And it's very quiet. I love, love, love this one in bedrooms. It's so great. I have my kids have them there. If you have trouble with anything that has water because you need to use it maybe in the office next to technology, or if you have, like Marie, a bunch of cats who may knock things over, this is much more not going to make a mess and things like that, because it's a pad-based diffuser. And then the one that many people go for is the 24-hour diffuser. It's much larger capacity, and it's kind of nice if you have a larger space where you want to kind of like get it into everybody's zone and help everyone who's like all around that area. So those will be some choices that you guys have once you finish all 8 in this series. And so I hope you guys will continue to interact, whether it's during the live thing or if you're filling out that Google form. Now, you may want to know a couple ways that you can connect. So if you have a direct question, you can feel free to email me at enamouredwithnature@gmail.com. This YouTube plus the ones of other really, I think, really high content or high value content, you'll find under Amanda Dumas at YouTube. And if you have not yet connected into Enamored with Nature Oil Education page, I invite you to do so. You would just go to the groups section and type in Enamored with Nature Oil Education, or if you want to, I know Marcella here is going to put it into the chat for you, and you can just click into there. Our essential oil place is if you do already have your account, we'd like to be able to support you in a slightly larger way. You might find more giveaways under, this is Katie Glasgow's group who we're in her umbrella. And so that is a really nice place to be able to get some other specific questions as well. Now, if you want a reminder about what's coming up, like if you're like, I'm definitely committed, I want to make it to all 8 of these and make sure I get my diffuser, you need to go ahead and jump onto the Remind group. Even if you can choose to have it emailed instead, but that means that the Zoom link that we'll be using will come directly to your email or to your phone. If you choose text, you can choose which one you want. You'll just bring out your phone and dial, not dial, but like text dial 81010. And the message you'll put in is at lovely V if you are local to Orlando. That way, when I'm doing in-person meetups again, you won't get something like, see you tomorrow at whatever, Saturday at 4 or whatever kind of thing it is, right? And if you're far away, you'll do the far and loved, versus if you're actually in Orlando, it's the lovely V. And if you already are on there, you want to change up your account settings so that you can get email notifications instead of text. We also do that. And sometimes if you like to jump on the computer, that may be easiest. Okay, so I'm going to keep that there for just a second, and we're going to, where did it go? Did I close it? I must have closed it. All right, well then, I'm going to stop my share for a moment and find it. I messed it up. I know what I can do. All right, so Marcella is probably at this time getting the link ready for the handout. Maybe that actually would have been a better way for me to do it. I could have just relied on Marcella because she's such a handy dandy and very well paid virtual assistant. So I'm going to bring up, oh, no. Do you guys know, it's always when you're recording that you get the funky stuff, right? Ah. Okay, this is just getting goofy. Did you already put this in the comments, love? You did. Okay, so here's the file for today's handout. Yep, I'm just gonna go with that now. It's totally in the wrong place here, but this is gonna work better. Thank you for saving me, Marcella. My other plan did not work. Okay, so I have to find a way to share the screen again. You guys are so patient. Okay, so nutrition and supplements. If you guys have already been typing into the chat, I hope, for the, what are you the type of person who regularly takes supplements? And I'm going to go ahead and tell you why many of us do or should, right? There's so many reasons why many of us are sick these days. We have much lower quality soil these times, and the fast food is so prevalent, and there's just so many more chemicals that are easily available to us and that are just kind of routine, that just kind of seem normal now. And there's only 14% of us who are getting the recommended daily amount of vegetables, and that's for survival, so like that's what the recommended daily amount is. I don't think that our soil has nearly as much nutrients in it as it did, and so most of the health professionals that I've talked to or heard, their videos about will recommend that we do need to supplement, just because even if you are eating organic, it's still in many cases it's just not enough, because it's not what it used to would have been. Having good nutrition allows us to function optimally. It allows our energy to really increase, and our mental clarity can just really skyrocket when we're able to have those nutrients we need. And there's all these extra things that come along with it, like cardiovascular health and the inflammatory response is not going haywire when something happens. So this is where doTERRA, like, I have to tell you guys about this. For the lifelong vitality supplements, which we affectionately call LLV, there have been times in my life that I didn't feel like supplements were worth much of anything. You read a lot of articles about how they just get passed through your system and come out in whole chunks, in the sewer system and things like that. And so you tend to think, okay, it's not worth it. It's stupid. My body's not getting anything from it anyway. It's a whole different setup that is so much more bioavailable when you're talking about a really, really well worked supplement such as what doTERRA puts out. And even compared, I did have a chart that someone had shared with me of how doTERRA compared to some other companies, brands specifically. And I don't have it to share with you now, but I will tell you that if you were going to go just into GNC, for example, and you were going to get pretty much the exact amount, if you could take like half of certain pills and two of another and stuff like that, if you were going to go get that from GNC, and to get the ingredients that are in those supplements, you would end up spending $250 just for the same amount of serving per day, right? So, or no, I just kidding, per month, I meant to say. To be able to get that with the main idea that the lifelong vitality supplements are 30 days worth, then you would have to pay $250 for those 30 days to get them in those same amounts. So it's definitely a big savings to be able to have them for the amount that they actually, are. Sorry, this one is got all mixed up. Okay, so it's the nutritional equivalent of 12 servings of fruit and vegetables in every single serving. And they are made from whole food sources. And that's what makes it able to break down very well in our system. There is no fillers in this. It's just the food source. And the essential oils really maximize that support. The fact that, the way that our cells work is that they have that oily cell membrane around them. And so when we have essential oils that are just, flowing through our body because we put them on the bottoms of our feet or something like that, or we're using them on a regular basis, or especially if we're intaking them with the rest of our supplements, those are allowing that oily cell membrane starts to allow more nutrients and things like that into each cell. That's also that being able to kind of open that up a little bit helps us hydrate faster. That's why we're usually using lemon in the water, just a drop or two. And as we intake that in, it is really getting optimum absorbency for our cells because it is combined with the essential oils. And yes, okay. Also, the fact that the omegas are in a capsule preserves the potency much longer. So that's really fantastic. And then some other things that you might want to know are that when we have the other like, not super good brands, you're gonna, it's only 8 to 12% absorbency. And that's why we're saying, like, you often see like chunks come out in the sewage system because they're not formulated in a way that's really going to be able to be used. So with the lifelong vitality, it's somewhere between 79 and 84% absorbency into our systems in general. So those are going to be, definitely, well designed in the very optimal range of things. We're not like super high on one thing and super low on another. It's an optimal range for most people. In fact, because it's so based on science, if you get the lifelong vitality supplements from doTERRA through the Japanese warehouse, for example, or the Chinese warehouse, it's going to have a different nutrient profile than the ones that we get in America based on the different you know, typical diet and things like that. So they're always trying to look at what people need in that region. And so they're going to be formulated based on some of those things. So it's very scientific. You guys, like doTERRA goes the extra effort to be able to have just really, really well-rounded support for you. They love this, and it's such a big thing that they believe in that they actually do a money-back guarantee. So if you take nothing else away from this class but this, um, go ahead and give the lifelong vitality supplements a try, because if it doesn't work, you're not even out any money, right? You just call and tell them this wasn't okay. I'm sending back the empty bottles, and we just, you know, like they'll just return your money to you. Now, I'll tell you that. Let me see. Oh, I'm noticing here that Marcel put extra thing in that Justin Harrison said in a recent education class he knew someone who worked at a water sewage plant that said they sift out pails and pails of undigested pills every day. Ew, totally. I hear you. Yep. And that is exactly what we don't want, right? Like our money to go down the drain. Get it? Down the, yeah. Okay. So I crack myself up sometimes. But yeah, so to not even be out any money to be able to try this, and I would suggest, here's the thing, guys, take a minute to kind of like document how you are feeling, you know, because when I first started the lifelong vitality supplements, I didn't notice what an increase of energy. I had, you know, several kids and was pregnant at the time as well. But I didn't notice the increase of energy or the mental clarity until I stopped taking them for about 3 weeks because I was sampling them to a couple other people, and I kind of like ran out early, and I didn't want to make my order until the next month. And so I ran out, and I was without them. And man, like so many of the things that I used to think were normal came back. I remember getting like itchy ears, random, I know. I remember kind of starting a little bit of hemorrhoids, which I mean, not super great to share with you guys, but just my digestive system and all those kinds of things that I didn't even realize had improved just like bit by bit by bit by bit. When I stopped taking the lifelong vitality, suddenly they all came back, the aches and the pains and the, you know, like just so many things. So I would recommend that you guys, if you can, kind of document some things that you think are kind of like weird or maybe a little bit off. That way, when you start your 30-day money back guarantee kind of thing, you actually have like a little bit more like, you know, thoughtfulness and, you know, comparison to be able to kind of consider, yeah, this is something that I want to keep going for the second month, third month, you know. And here's a little tip or a little like insight. doTERRA is an essential oil company, but truth be told, the number one selling product is the thing that more people purchase than any other essential oil is actually the lifelong vitality supplements. So that should give you a little bit of overview about when people are really, really well supported by a nutritional supplement, they're going to continue purchasing it. It's very, very high value. And as we looked at before, is low cost, right? Compared to if you were getting it from GNC. And Marcella, a little bit later, is going to tell you guys about how to get it for even cheaper. And she'll kind of reveal a little bit more about what exactly we are, you know, saving by doing it in a certain way. So we're going to make sure you know all the ins and outs, not only for what oils you need to have in your home to support you and 100% about how to use them. But in addition to that, we want to make sure that you know the savviest way to purchase. And because that's something that many of us, you know, was a thing when we started doTERRA. You're like, oh, but it's so expensive. Well, it turns out it's really not. It's really packed with a whole bunch of really cool savings that if you know how to do it, it really makes it very, very inexpensive. Okay, it's time for question number 2. So question number 2 is, have you personally tried lifelong vitality supplements? And if so, how long? So go ahead and put that in the chat. You can, so if you've tried them, and you could say yes, and then, you know, how many months you've done it or whatever. And if you haven't yet tried them, that's fine. You just go ahead and put no in the comments. Okay, I'm gonna wait for some of those to go. Actually, no, I shouldn't wait. Let me go ahead and pop over to my next set of favorites. I usually tell people that if I was stranded on an island and I can only have one doTERRA product, that it would have to be Lifelong Vitality, because it's really what gets so many people off of the medications that they don't want to be on or that they're having a lot of side effects from. But the secondary thing, well, I probably would go with essential oils after that. I have my little like mental list of what I would do, but these Terrazyme have been amazing for helping my family be able to work through some food allergy issues, as well as just, you know, improving immune function and mental wellness and things like that. So because the gut is such a big deal and we need something to help us break down everything, I mean, especially if we're doing those lifelong vitality supplements, you want to make sure that those are totally broken down in your system to get closer towards like the 84 or even more percent availability into your body of actual usage. And so this Terrazyme helps break down things. There's cool little science experiments about when you break open the Terrazyme and sprinkle it into oatmeal, how it just kind of, it doesn't exactly liquefy, but it gets super soft, and then that makes it very easy for us to digest. Now that is awesome, especially because many of us have metabolic, you know, I want to say deficiencies. That's not so there's two kinds of enzymes, metabolic and dietary. And so our bodies eventually, as we age, stop making the metabolic enzymes. And so then it becomes even more important to kind of up level those dietary enzymes so that we can break down those foods. And enzymes are found naturally in a lot of raw foods, which is fantastic, but many of us aren't eating raw foods as often as we should. So this is really, really great. Now the PB Assist, oh, I love this, you guys. It's so much fun. Not only does it look amazing, right? Look at these cute little capsules, right? They're called this double encapsulated. So the outer portion of the capsule has a little bit of, you almost can't even see it, but there is like they call it prebiotic liquid in here. And that prebiotic encourages friendly bacteria growth. And so it just kind of makes a favorable environment so that the inside capsule, the green part, when that little chlorella capsule opens up and has all the good guys in it, which by the way are not exposed to air at all, which means that they they're going to be very prolific. Compared to, I know some people are like, oh, you don't have the refrigerated kind, oh, you know, but because of this double encapsulation, it takes care of all the things in terms of, you know, having them be live, you know, and very, very healthy. So this is so balancing for our gut. I really, it's 6 billion CFUs, which is awesome. And so this, I highly recommend it. And if you do have kiddos, or if you're just, if you just like tasty things, then you would want to check into the PB Assist Junior. They have these awesome little sachets. They're just like pixie sticks, and they do have a little bit of sweetness to them. And that sweetness is so much less than we would typically get if you were, you know, just getting like a sugary yogurt for your kids, and way much higher on the actual benefits. And then the sugar is much lower. So those are really great. We love them around my house. And let's see, I'm gonna take a look at some of the comments here real quick. So we see Mary says she's used them now for about a year and a half. Marie says yes on the vitamins for a couple of months. Krista says use them for 3 or 4 years, but on and off. Marcella says little over a year. Yes, yep, more stamina. That's a great comment. Yeah, I would love, and it's not necessarily one of the ones I'll put in Google form, but if you guys do have some little things about lifelong vitality supplements that you really loved, it might be like a fun little extra perk. Maybe I could find something to send you if you want to put in a quick story or two, or, you know, just a sentence or two about some things that you've noticed in your own body. Okay, so we're going to go on. By the way, guys, this little handout is easy for you to click into, and you can print off and take notes on it yourself. That's why there's the the writing here if you wanted to be able to do that. Um, but I would say this deep blue polyphenol complex was a really good one for us. And well, okay, yeah, the my husband, as you know, probably is the son of a pediatrician. And so he's grown up with all sorts of medical things being the norm, right? So like you take just, you know, drugs for a lot of stuff. And you know, certainly in when you need them, I am so glad to have those medical interventions very, very available to me here in America. I think that's awesome. But many times, if you're taking 8 ibuprofen a day, that's not going to be sustainable for your liver to be able to work through. So enter in something that's actually good for your body that works with supplying more polyphenols, things that have like frankincense and all the curcuminoids that are going to be helpful for inflammation, for joint care. And, you know, in addition, I mean, the fact that this actually has extra herbs in it besides the essential oils, I think that's pretty key in being able to reduce inflammation. So this deep blue polyphenol complex is fantastic for that. It definitely was something that started helping my husband not go through as many of the other, you know, kind of pills that he normally would have. All right, let me go on to adaptive here for a minute. Adaptive, if you want extra stories, there are so many that I can't even tell you. So go to, there's a Facebook group specific for adaptive testimonies. And there's already like, I don't know, like almost over 20,000 members, because in order to be able to talk about having the calming effects of some really, like if you're struggling with dark thoughts on a regular basis, or like feelings of anxiousness that are coming more often than what you can handle, than what you feel like is healthy, then adaptive is going to be a really good setup for you. Not only does it have the GABA, but it also has something that's proprietary that doTERRA puts together called ahi flower. And so these herbs are kind of formulated to be able to combine with just, well, with using the topical essential oils as well. But these are the ones that are going to be really amazing for like long term. So very good for emotional balance. If you guys have any kind of struggle with these, or you want to see if you can create an uptick or an up leveling for yourselves, then try those adaptive. Turmeric is also super, super fun, double encapsulated, just like the probiotics. So we have the liquid portion on the outside of these are actually it's the turmeric essential oil, which has the tumerones, and the inner portion is a very concentrated of the botanical ground root. And so this is has a lot of their curcuminoids. And most often we do not see in fact, we never see these together unless you're actually like eating the full root. And so even when you juice, like if you're putting turmeric root through a juicer, you're still not getting nearly as much benefit compared to if you're having it with the essential oil, because of the way they kind of combine and have those complementary benefits. So to have that extract in addition to the essential oils helps it be 11 times more available to the body. 11 times those nutrients, 11 times the amount of nutrients that you normally would if you were just getting a regular turmeric pill, right? And so I really highly recommend these. I did use these a couple times to support my little fellow who, I don't know if you guys can see. So this past week, my little 5-year-old got a bee sting, and within like 12 hours after he was bitten behind the ear, he started having some inflammation. And I think this one was that 18 hours? I can't remember. Oh, it was 20 hours. I tried to label them so I wouldn't forget. And then This is him 32 hours after the bee sting. And then this is like 36 hours after the bee sting. So I was trying everything I could to support his little body. And thankfully at 5, it's a little tricky, but we had already practiced with 1 or 2 other things. So I was supporting his little system with some just kidding, Try Ease. We do the Terrazyme all the time for his food allergies. If he's exposed to something, say if we're at a restaurant and they haven't told me all the ingredients or something. But we did some Try Ease for him, which brought down some of the inflammation and kept him at a good place for a while. And then also turmeric, right? So that allowed for some of that. I think that's why it took so long for him to get like fully puffed up to that level, because we were being very supportive for his body. In the end, we did have to use an over-the-counter medication to get him from that super swollen state down into something more manageable. And I'm so thankful that's there when we need it. But I do think that probably if I had known that it was a bee sting before that, and I wasn't treating him for dietary, like digestive kind of stuff, may have gone a little bit better. But hindsight 2020, you can't know what you don't know until you know it, right? All right, friends. So going on, I'm going to peek in here for a minute about Serenity Capsules. This has been something that my husband has asked me to keep reordering. He finds it to be really, really helpful for sleep. This is the Restful Complex, and just anytime you're kind of struggling with either going to sleep or staying asleep, I really, really like this. It does have some GABA in it, and it just really kind of creates this feeling of zen. I really love that. And it's not only essential oils, but it does have some of the herbal components as well that really add to it. And these do not leave you groggy the next day. So I love that about the Serenity Capsules. Most often we like to pair it with some of the essential oil as well, to be able to use that topically. But even if you don't have that, and I actually know, she's not on here, but Cheryl, it had been using a sleep medication for a really long time, and Serenity was amazing to help her get off of that. And she hasn't come back. She was on for like 9 years or something like that, and she doesn't have to use any sleep meds anymore because of that Serenity. Okay, so this is a phytoestrogen and bone nutrient, and typically I had stayed far away from these for a while because I was like, wait, estrogen, that stuff's bad. We don't want extra estrogen in our body. I was not aware that the phytoestrogen is actually, it's kind of it's a regulating kind of thing, where in the form that this phytoestrogen is formulated, in our bodies, it's broken down in such a way to balance the hormone level. So if you are really low in something or high in something, including if you are a man and you're struggling with low T, this phytoestrogen is actually something that is really good for you. It's really supportive for all of the kind of breast tissue and all of those organs that need to have the right amount of stuff to work well. And I also like it. I kind of think of this phytoestrogen as a little bit of like a trash collector. We have a lot of those harsh, bad estrogens that we get from just exposure to chemicals and pollution and things like that. And so in this case, the phytoestrogen is a little bit kind of like a trash collector to kind of corral the bad stuff that we don't want, and be able to kind of not have all that junk in our systems anymore, environmentally speaking. The bone nutrient, I'm going to tell you guys for the price and for how bioavailable it is. The bone nutrient it's not just calcium. They combine it with other minerals to increase the absorbability, and that really does a huge service to our bones as well as to our heart. And so this is really a good thing. If not only if you're an aging woman who's worried about osteoporosis, but even if you're like a young kid who's involved in a lot of sports and you don't want to get a bunch of breaks and things like that, then you're definitely going to want some of this bone nutrient. Myo2 Max. Oh man, you guys, this one, Yeah. My brother really enjoys Myo2 Max because it's the energy and stamina complex, and he's worked for the firefighters in Texas for a long time, long time. And so whenever they have like their their 2 a day trainings and things like that, he's like, there's no way I would get through without having some Myo2 Max. And but he started enjoying the feeling so much. I know that probably makes it sound like it's addictive. He was very clear in describing for his experience, like, well, okay, here's the deal. There's no caffeine in it. And there's nothing that's gonna boost your adrenaline. So it's not Myo2 Max is not a adrenaline booster kind of thing like a Red Bull or something like that. It actually has toning qualities for the adrenals. And the mitochondria, which are the energy centers of our bodies, they just get all the care and support that they need when you're taking one of these pills. It's fantastic. And this is also another one that Marcella can tell you guys about how to get it even cheaper than what it, well, than what it could be, I guess. All right, so Myo2 Max is fab, and I love, oops, let me go back. I forgot to share before oh, wait. Okay, share again. Zendocrine Complex is another really good one. This is the one that I wanted to have available when I found out that it was a bee sting, because I wanted to be able to just cleanse all of his system, all the endocrine systems and things that kind of collect all the filtering organs, right? The filtering organs like the kidneys and liver and lungs and skin and colon. Like, this Zendocrine Complex is a chimney sweep without being something that's going to make you dump, by the way. So I really do. It does not make, as far as I know, it doesn't really make me run to the bathroom. I haven't seen it, for other people either. So this is what I would have liked to have kind of had available when that bee sting came, to try to make sure that all that, poison kind of got out of the system. So very good. And typically we'll do like 2 capsules a day if you're kind of going through a little bit of a cleanse. Oh, actually, I should show you guys that too. Right, doTERRA does have, if you are going to do that 30-day challenge kind of thing, then they have like a little plan for like 30 days to wellness. And you can also access on the doTERRA website what their 30-day cleanse looks like. I know Zendocrine Complex is in there. There's a full setup. I don't have the printout, but on doTERRA.com, you can see about the 30-day cleanse. That includes the Zendocrine Complex and the GX Assist. Now that one does make you run to the bathroom. So it's only like a 10-day window during the 30 days that you're doing that. And then right after that 10-day window with the GX Assist is when you start the PB Assist. That's probiotics to kind of recolonate whatever got flushed. So it's a very well thought out program. If you guys need a little extra help for cleansing, I would highly recommend you go ahead and go to the doTERRA website and punch that in. You're gonna find some really good supportive stuff. By the way, did you guys know that if you go to doTERRA.com, oh, I didn't bring it up. Never mind. Something about all the different like back and forth. I've closed like the wrong windows a couple times. You guys have to forgive me. But on doTERRA.com, on the bottom of the page, even if you're not signed in, you'll see a little section about ebooks, and you'll find some things there about nutrition as well as other things that are supportive for cleansing the body, and a whole host of other things about getting better sleep, about less toxins in the home through cleaning products, and all sorts of things. doTERRA is really fantastic. I think something that separates them from a lot of other companies who are just trying to sell is doTERRA really wants to take the time to make sure that each person is educated about how to use the things that they have. And so even just on the regular website, you can click in and download these ebooks that are just a couple pages long, beautifully done. You can print them out on your own printer, and very supportive to make sure people know how to use what they have, those tools in the toolbox. And then it's actually kind of handy. They have some cool little questions there at the thing to be able to kind of track where you've finished after that 30-day to see like, was this useful to spend this money here? All right, let me share. I'm having trouble with this because I have to slip between a couple different browsers, so you guys will have to pardon that. But okay, so the Yarrow Palm Cellular Beauty Complex. I really like this one, although I tend to not use it because part of me is like, well, if it's called Beauty Complex, then I don't need to take it because I'm already beautiful and I'm not worried about wrinkles or things like that yet. But I will tell you guys, there's actually a lot of extra benefits besides the fact that it's like amazing for skin, like, you know, like helping the firmness and reducing redness and that kind of stuff. But it also is really, really supportive for the epithelials in general and the antioxidants that are in here. Like when you look at what's that stuff called? The pomegranate extract and things like that, you find a lot of that in uh, just, you know, all the kind of superfoods mention pomegranate, right? And that's because it's great for metabolic function as well as just being a really good antioxidant and supporting that cellular health. Okay, I'm gonna stop that for a minute. Okay, I'm gonna go on to question 3. Okay, so question 3 for you guys is, of the targeted supplements that I just talked to you guys about, which do you think you need the most? I should probably go back and share, oh, the right one. All right, so of the targeted supplements that I just talked about, which do you think that you need the most right now? Okay, so you can put that into the chat, and if you're doing the Google form, here's a quick little minute to let you guys take a look at this to get an idea. Oh, I'm not sharing. Oh, thank you for letting me know. Okay. Oh, I've been having a problem because there's just too many tabs open. Oh, now it goes back to the wrong one. So I had gotten it to the right one. Okay, there you go. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that I was not sharing. Okay, yeah. So you guys can take a look at that. And I would love at this point, because I'm gonna, so the deep blue polyphenol complex up here, the Myo2 Max, and actually, I guess, is that it? Oh, and the PB Assist and Terrazyme have something special about them. And I'm going to allow Marcella to tell you how to get all of those for an amazing price and yeah, why you want to get them in that certain way. So go ahead, Marcella.
All right, great. Thank you. So I'm gonna pull up hopefully the right thing as well. We're gonna talk a little bit, can you all see that? A little bit about LRP. So I hope everybody here knows, can you guys see that little LRP slide?
Yes.
I hope everybody here, thank you. I hope everybody here knows about LRP. It just stands for the Loyalty Rewards Program. So if you're basically, what I like to tell people, if you think you're going to be purchasing on a monthly basis at least something, you might as well just jump on to LRP, because if you just order something with one PV, you can maintain your LRP status. It doesn't mean that you need to order the same products every month. You can change that to whatever you want. But if you're going to be ordering something every month, you might as well jump on. If you order 50 PV, PV just means product value. If you order at least 50 PV a month, you will start ticking up here on the percent that you can earn back of points every month. So you can go from 10% in your first 1 to 3 months, all the way up to 30% after you've done it for 12 months straight. So your 13 month, you will start at 30%. So if you're going to be ordering about once a month something, you might as well, because you never know how many times you're going to hit over that 50 and you'll start earning points. If you are thinking of doing this as a business, then you would need to be thinking about doing 100 PV. But the really cool thing is this 125. It's like the magic number because it gets you a free product every month. doTERRA is really generous about giving some fun products. And this year we've been able to get some oils that you cannot purchase otherwise unless you get it through the Loyalty Rewards Program and you order at least 125 PV. And so that being said, and you do have to order that before the 15th of the month. But that being said, we're supposed to be talking about LLV. So let me show you the LLV. So Amanda was talking about the 3 products that are part of LLV, you have your antioxidants, your vitamins, and your essential oils. If you were to purchase these individually, so not as part of your LRP, you would end up paying all of these prices here. And when you add that up, that adds up to $158.50. But if you go ahead and you sign up for Loyalty Rewards, program and you order the bundle, you are only paying $79.50, which is a $79 savings. So that's kind of like getting your Alpha CRS for free, plus some. But what's really neat is that in addition, you can customize this package to add on up to 3 supplements, selected supplements, for only $20 each. So that's what Amanda said about Myo2 Max. So I'm gonna stop sharing this and I'm gonna run over to my actual loyalty rewards, so you can see what that looks like. So when I go into my page, I can go into my loyalty rewards order right here and I could say edit order. I actually have my LLV in my order. I'm sorry, this is running kind of slow. Um, Already set up because I usually order every month, if not every other month. But I went ahead and I put it in here. If you need to put it into your order, you would just go up here and type LLV and you should get all your little choices. So right here is your bottles. You can also get them in easy sachets that are like prepackaged for you. I like the bottles because it's a little cheaper. So that it would pop in and I'd say customize. And then I get this screen that tells me choose up to 3 of the following at a significant savings. So I can add on vitamins, I can add on the essential oil, the omegas, or here's the Myo2 Max. And you can see Myo2 Max is usually $40. And here I can get it for $20, which is really cool. I can get my PB Assist as well, which is $34.50. I can just add it on for $20, as well as the Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex, which is the biggest deal. It's normally $59.50, and you can get that one for $20. And you can also add on your Terrazyme, and I think I already mentioned you can add on your PB Assist. Is that not there? It is. So that is one way that doing LRP is a really huge savings. I might need to switch over. Let me share my screen. All right, so not only are you saving those $79 from buying them separately, but you're adding on, if you add on those products, you save a whole lot more. And this doesn't even take into account the fact that you get points back that you can use later. So if you were to count that in, I can't even do the math right now in my head for the amount of savings that you would have. So let me move this over. I'd mention that product, you could, if you order 125 PV, you get a free product. In October, this is the free product. We're doing clove this month. So you would get a free clove, which is an $18 value. But what's also fun this month is that every now and then doTERRA will have a special where they do something for, if you order 200 PV, you get these products for sale. Oh, you would get these products for sale. So this month, these are your products. If you order 200 PV, you can get Calmer, Tamer, Peppermint, and Digestin, which are all digestion related products. The Calmer is a little bit more temperament, but it'll help. It's just calming as part of the kids blend. Tamer is like a more gentle digestion that's got spearmint instead of peppermint. So again, part of the kids blend. It's just a little bit less strong than the digestin. You got peppermint, which is not only good for digestion, but good for everything. And then you digestin soft gels, which is just the oil in a soft gel. So if you don't like the taste of digestin, that's a great way to get your digestin. But also we have, just as a side note now, sorry, I'm getting off LRP, but I figure I just mentioned these wellness kits that are available. And I won't get too much into it, but the idea is if you think this is an area that you want to work on, like mind and mood, there's immunity and there's pain relief. If it's something that you need to work on, you can sign up for this. It's $75 a month and you'll get a kit each month that targets that particular thing. So mind and mood is going to target your mood basically. So you've got all kinds of oils and products that are very supportive for that. And you don't have to think about it. You just sign up, and every month for 3 months, you will get products supporting that. The immunity kit is the same thing. It's all on guard products. And month 2 and month 3 will be more products that support immunity. And the same thing with relief. It's basically pain management, and all of the products will support those. And Amanda's already talked about a lot of that, so I'm not going to get into all those products. And I think that's all I have to say. Is there anything else you wanted me to talk about?
That was a fantastic overview. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And also the other cool thing about, oh, by the way, I'm popping in here. The the code word that you're going to put in the Google document is clove. Okay, clove is the code word that you guys can be looking for. That you'll need to put in there if you need to share that you watched this. Okay, what I was going to tell you guys about the whole wellness kits is that when you type in um, like buying each of those particular products separately in like say like the immunity kit for example, if you decide like that's really what you need to like be super careful of for right now, like this needs to be like your overall focus and this targeted like kind of project for yourself to keep well, then for those 3 months, you're not only going to get something that you kind of like just easy button where you don't have to like do the research and figure out, okay, like what do I need next? Okay, I guess tea tree might be something. It's not on your shoulders. The instructions and everything come for you in like the small, like three time increments. That way it's not totally overwhelming to get this huge batch of stuff and not know what to do with it, right? You're learning in really small increments, including the fact that like usually they don't even get into some of the internal use of essential oils until the very end, where like so like month 3 you're getting a little pack of veggie caps that you're able to open up and put some essential oils inside. So like they're really trying to kind of like educate you guys in a gradual way that's super supportive. But all of that aside, is actually cheaper to do those wellness kits. All of them have a minimum of $20 savings, to where if you were to order all the other things, even with your wholesale discount, right? Like we're not even talking retail here, but even with that, there's at least $20 of savings. And sometimes there's things that you can't get elsewhere, like the adorable mini mouthwash or the special applicator that comes with a deep blue rub that we've never seen that before. The floss that's in there for the on guard. Imagine getting all that good stuff between your teeth. So really, really cool program. I highly, highly suggest you guys check into that and choose, one or several of those goals for your own life, like where you think you need to see the most support, and click in and get one of those on your LRP. It's a flat $75. And so I feel like that's very doable. If you're like, I need to attack this immune system thing, you don't have to run around to GNC and all these other places. Like you get it all right there. It's fantastic. Okay. I wanted to do one more thing. A lot of people ask me about what they should do for their lifelong vitality supplements. So here's an example of a daily schedule, starting with something that's anti-inflammatory and good for the gut. And early in the morning is a really good way to start off, even like on an empty stomach. And then you're going to want, now here's the thing, guys. Most people end up having kind of like it's not overload to your system, but your body is just like, are you sure we're supposed to have all this nutrients all at the same time when you give them that many lifelong vitality supplements all in a row? It's supposed to be 4 of each per day, which means 12 actual vitamins, right? And sometimes people are like blown away by that. It couldn't possibly, well, it turns out a lot of us don't really need that much to feel at our optimum. So, what I'd recommend is that you experiment for yourself, especially if you guys have already done your 30-day challenge and you already know it's really amazing. But even if you haven't, start slow, at least the first week, because sometimes your body's just like super surprised that you're giving it so much nutrition all at once. It can kind of cause a little extra flow that you're not really ready for. And so I would say start with one of each per day, at least for the first 2 or 3 days. If you have a sensitive stomach, make it a 3-day thing, right? Just one a day of all of each of the three. After that, I would jump up to the two of each and just take that once a day. And then jump up to having 2 plus 1, and preferably here during the earlier part of the day, right? So like breakfast and lunch would be better times to take the lifelong vitality supplements compared to when like having it like closer to bedtime or something like that, because we want all that awesome like extra energy and things like that that we're getting from it to come earlier rather than later. I like having Terrazyme with all my meals if I can. Certainly, I try to do that for my little guy who struggles so much. The adaptive is also fantastic earlier in the day rather than later. The Myo2 Max is great to get you through that afternoon slumps, and especially if you have things going on way over until, like the whatchamacallit, um, like 11 o'clock at night or something like that. If you guys are going all that time, you might want that Myo2 Max during the end. And then to have the Yarrow Palm Complex help you restore during, just like help with those antioxidant cellular health and metabolic function as you sleep is really great. The Copaiba, so they're probably referring to the soft gels here, but I just do 2 drops under the tongue at nighttime. I also do 2 drops in the morning before I get out of bed as well. And then the Serenity, most people only need 1 Serenity before they go to bed, but you can experiment and see what you need for yourself. Okay, I think we actually already finished that one too. Okay, so I would like to have Marcella tell us another fun thing about building a pipeline, and something that I'd like for you guys. Oh wait, did I? You know what? I'm going to ask my 4th question before I turn over here. Okay, so here's question number 4. Of the freebies in that 200 PV promo, which actually I should go ahead and share for that also. Okay, so the question is just looking at the, sorry, too many tabs. Is this the right one? Okay, there we go. I know I get it eventually. Okay, so you see the freebies here, the Calmer, Tamer, Peppermint, Digestin, and Clove, which as long as you're ordering 200 on your LRP cart before the 15th of the month, then you're getting 5 products for free. And by the way, you can get this 200 PV extra perk of $75.50 value. You can get that up to 4 times on your account. So if you're going to get several things of Rose because that's going to be your like Christmas gift to some of your closest friends, or if you want to start getting some of the like whatever shampoo, conditioner, like this is the month that you guys are going to want to start to stock up and be able to get the extra freebies in here. These are super, super high value, useful. I go through these things like crazy, and I don't even have. I mean, I guess I do have that one person in my family who has more digestive issues, but we just normal support. These are amazing. So, of the freebies in the 200 PV promotion, here's question 4. Which is your favorite, or which are you looking forward to trying the most? Okay, so you guys can put that in the comments or on your Google form. Of the freebies in the 200 PV promotion, which is your favorite, or which are you looking forward to trying the most? Okay, now I'm going to have Marcella tell us about building a pipeline.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. So I am going to share my screen and shift over to talking a little bit about sharing doTERRA as a business and building a pipeline. One second. Can everybody see my screen? I'm always worried that you guys are not going to be able to see my screen. All right. So there are three types of people that usually come to doTERRA. There's usually the person who loves to just live the wellness lifestyle. They're just committed to living that lifestyle, and that's all they're kind of interested in. And that's kind of how I started. I wanted to just address one or two of my personal health issues. I had a lot of seasonal symptoms that came with seasonal changes. I'm going to try to be compliant. And so I just wanted to address that. And then over time, I was like, you know what, maybe my mom could use some help or my husband, but it was still very much just my family. I didn't really want to share it with too many people. And so, but I was committed to living this wellness lifestyle, doing, finding natural choices for the problems that I was seeing in my life. Then the next type of person, which is fine, that type of person is supported by doTERRA with our education classes. In fact, that's probably the largest base of people that join doTERRA. And the next type of person is somebody who likes to share to get their products paid for. So that's kind of a place I moved into when I started finding that I would see people that were also dealing with some of the same issues I was dealing with. And I would feel compelled to just say, hey, I found a solution. Would you like to try this? Some lemon peppermint lavender for your runny nose. And I just couldn't help myself. And I would just go ahead and give away my bottle and have to make another one. And I was perfectly fine with that. And doTERRA supports this kind of person with basically getting their products paid for. They have a great compensation plan that if you consistently do this, you can get to a point where your oils are paid for monthly. And I'm pretty much just about there. And then there's people who are builders who want to earn an income, maybe replace an income and make an impact in other people's lives. And so I kind of knew I had moved into this phase when I was coming home from a trip to California with my hubby. And people, it was that time of the year with seasonal changes, and people were sniffling and sneezing on the plane. And I leaned over to my husband and I said, would it be inappropriate for me to run up and down the aisles and give everybody samples of essential oils, like of my lemon peppermint lavender? And he said, yes, it would be inappropriate. So I didn't. I stayed in my seat. But I knew I was hooked. I wanted to help people. I knew I had answers for, some really um, simple, but stuff people struggled with, some health issues. And so I wanted to help impact people's lives. And it is such a huge thing for me when somebody says, you've changed my life. Like I used to take over the counter medications for X, Y, and Z. And now I don't have to because I get to use these natural products. And so it is a really great feeling. And that's what a builder would be. So let me tell you about building a pipeline. So we're going to talk about this woman. Some people call him a guy. I'm going to call her a woman because there's only women on the call. And so this woman used to support her family by hauling buckets of water from a water source that was far away from her village. And so every day she would go walk down to the water, fill up the buckets, and go back and forth. If she needed more money, she needed to haul more buckets. If she got sick and couldn't haul buckets, she didn't get it paid at all. And so it was really exhausting as well as very insecure because she didn't know if there was ever going to be a time that she got hurt or something and wouldn't be able to haul those buckets. So she decided one day to build a pipeline. She started taking the little bit of extra money that she had and extra little time that she had and started building a pipeline that reached from the water source all the way to the village. And after sacrificing that time and the energy and the money, she ended up finally getting to a point where the pipeline was completed and she was able to just turn on the spigot at the village. And now, whether she was sick or well or needed more money or not, that spigot was always on, that it was always something that could be turned on and that she would be able to make money even if she wasn't hauling buckets. And so it gave her this time freedom and this peace of mind that she now had a secure source of income. So with that illustration, I just kind of wanted to ask, where are you guys at? Are you guys in a place where you're at a traditional job, trading hours for dollars, basically hauling buckets, where if you're not feeling well or if you need to take some time off because you have a sick child or something, you're not sure if you're going to get paid? There might be limits on advancements, which is where I'm kind of at now. I have a really fun, satisfying job, but I'm not going anywhere. It's going to be done after elections are done. And then I'm not really sure what I'm doing after that. I have very limited time freedom, and usually most jobs do. And I'm building someone else's dream. Honestly, I'm not building my dream. Indirect sales, if you're with a company, a reliable, good company, you can build a true residual income. You can have no limits on advancements and earnings, and you can have the freedom to choose your own schedule and build your own dreams. So I'm working on this, and my dream is to eventually bring my hubby home. And I think I've said this before, but I heard a family once say that they were a full-time family. And that's what I want to be. I want to be a full-time family. I don't want to be a full-time employee to somebody else. I want to be a full-time family that has the freedom to make my own schedule. So why doTERRA? There's plenty of reasons here. I'm not going to read every single point on the slide. I'll let you guys read as I talk. But the three things that strike me the most about doTERRA is the first point here. They're the most tested and the most trusted. I often, when I share oils with people, will tell them, I want you to have oils in your life because I know they work, and you've seen that they work, especially if they've had a positive experience. But I will always, if they're not sure, I will let them know. If it's not me, now that you know about oils, I've educated you about oils, please look at the company that you're considering. Look at their website. Are they telling you where they source their oils? Are they telling you how they test their oils, so that you can be sure that the bottle that they are selling you of, let's say, peppermint, is 100% peppermint? With doTERRA, I have no doubt that my oils are 100% what they say it is, because they go through so much testing to ensure that we're getting pure product. So I can trust them. If I don't see that on another company, I'm not going to trust them anymore because I want to know I want answers to all these questions. The next point is the record-breaking retention rate of 65%. When people try doTERRA, they usually fall in love with it and then they stick with it. And so we have one of the greatest retention rates. The average industry rate is only around 13%. And like I said before, most people that sign up with doTERRA or are either just want to live the lifestyle, or they are sharers. And so you're talking about 85% are that. So 85% of your 65 retention rate is people who are just using the product. So you can see the possibility for some great residual income there. And then the other point that I love about doTERRA is that they create partnerships with growers around the world. So when you purchase oils, you're not just helping yourself with some amazing products, but you're helping people on the other side of the bottle. And one quote that I really loved from the most recent convention doTERRA had was, if business isn't well for our farmers, then how could business be well for us? So they care so much about their farmers that they want to make sure that the farmers are doing well as well. Not just them, not just us, but the farmers on the other end. And I just think that's amazing. All right. So how do you make money on doing doTERRA as a business? You would need to start by sampling people. You would teach some classes or just educate people. I always want to do the caveat with teaching. I do not have the greatest success teaching. I do not always have the greatest success inviting people and getting people to come to a class. But I can do one-on-one teaching till the cows come in. In fact, I have the class broken up in my head in ways that I can just jump into any portion of the class and share with someone. So by the time they've had a great experience and they're ready to purchase, I've done a class. I don't even have to sit with them and do a one-on-one because I've gone through everything. But if you're great at getting people into your home to teach them a class, then that would be one thing that you would do. But there are ways around this. So I just want to I want to make that clear. Then enroll people, get them to join up, and then support them and support your leaders. These classes are just one of the ways that we support the people that join us and join our team on doTERRA. The possibilities, the opportunities are endless. I'd like to just focus down here for now, because we talked about like a sharer just getting their oils paid for. That would be around here, where you could be earning at at the rank of elite, enough to get your oils paid for and some. So there's so much more beyond just getting your oils paid for. You can, think about supplementing your income or just completely replacing it or having so much more. So I know I have a few people here on the call. I don't know if anybody wants to share a little testimony. I don't know, Amanda, if you want to share anything, or if we want to just skip the testimony part for today. Is there anybody who has a little story about residual income and what that means to you? I can tell you what it means to me. You guys, I won't put you on the spot. I figured I'd give somebody a second in case anybody was like, me. Um, for me, getting enough residual income is would be fulfilling my dream, like I said earlier, of bringing my husband home. My husband is wonderful. He has supported our family for forever, but honestly, he does not like working. Who really does? I mean, I don't think he's ever found like his dream job, but he's always does well at all of his jobs. But if I could bring him home and retire him early, that is what residual income would mean for me, that he could stay home, we could be a full-time family, and he could do the fun stuff that he really loves to do, which is not going to work every day and working for someone else. It would be working for himself, doing some other fun stuff other than what he's doing now. So that is what residual income is for me, and that is what I'm looking forward to. All right, so how much time is involved? If you just want to get your products paid for, we're looking at about 3 to 5 hours a week, consistent. That's one thing I do want to say. Consistency is key. If you're just going to kind of treat this like a hobby and do 1 hour here and another hour there, and then maybe get 1 week where you get 3 to 5 hours, it's going to take longer. It doesn't mean that you can't do it, but it's going to take longer, and that's fine. You can do doTERRA in your own way, in your own time. But if you know, I want to get my products paid for, and I'm going to work at this, if you can put in 3 to 5 hours, that can happen sooner rather than later. If you want to supplement your income, you're looking at about 10 to 15 hours a week consistently. And if you want to replace your income completely, you're looking at 15 to 30 plus hours a week. And could this work for me? So these are just some questions I want you to be thinking about in the back, kind of in the back of your mind, to start thinking, maybe this is something, maybe you're starting to think, this sounds like a cool idea. Maybe this is something I do want to consider. So ask yourself, are you passionate about oils? It has to start there. You really have got to be a product of the product. You have to use your oils because it's going to be hard for you to be authentic, and want to share things if you don't even have any experiences with the oils. Now, that doesn't mean that you'll never share something that maybe you've never used. Like I've shared Claricom with a lot of people, but that's not an oil I necessarily use on a regular basis. I hear a lot of good things about it, and lots of people I know use it and use it successfully. So I share it, but I'm more passionate about the oils that I know work. So, but you have to be a product of the product. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to be authentic. So are you passionate about oils? Are you using them? Are you seeing changes in your life because you use them? Do you care about people? That's a hard one, but you kind of have to care if you see someone sick or hurting or, upset, maybe emotionally. You have to care a little bit at least to be willing to share with them. Um, and then can you follow a system and get things done? We actually have a whole plan to help you get started and get going that is very detailed. It goes from how to sample people to how to invite to a class to how to do a class, and then how to support your peeps once they get signed up. So it is a great program. But even more so than these questions, I want you to think about these little things here. Um, you're not just working to earn money. It's so much more than that. We shared in the when I was talking to you guys about LLV, with LRP, the loyalty rewards program, you're getting free products. Not only free products, but you're getting points back that you could spend later. So it's like, just to say you're making money is not enough, because there's so many more ways that you get compensated by doTERRA besides just their compensation plan. So you're getting free products. In the process, you're improving your health. Like I said, I had specific health issues that I wanted to address that I have been able to address. I have not needed to take over-the-counter products for any of my issues now for 2 years. And so just these two things right here are enough for me to want to share doTERRA. Then living with a purpose. It's kind of hard to be always working for someone else and helping build their dreams. So it's kind of nice to shift over and find your purpose, and then build that dream instead of building someone else's dream, and then changing the world. I talked a little bit about how doTERRA partners with their farmers. And whenever you buy a bottle, you are helping the farmers on the other end. They don't find like big fancy schmancy farmers. They go to villages and they train people and they transform these villages into, better income places where people can have better lives and make better choices. So, and have better opportunities. So you're really helping change the world when you're invested in doTERRA, as well as you can change people around you. All right. So now that you're super curious, what is the next step? You can identify what type of person you are. You know, if you want to share or build with doTERRA, let us know. If you're just someone who wants to live the natural lifestyle, no pressure at all. That is fine. We will support you just like we would support somebody who wants to share or build. No problem. If you are a sharer and or builder, if you think that this is what you want to do with your time, then your next step would be to attend a Business Made Easy presentation. Get with Amanda or myself, and we will tell you when the next one is. And there'll be a deeper dive there about the residual income and the compensation plan. And then get connected. If you're like, I want to start now, well, the best place to start is to go to dailymentorcalls.com. Most of our training is there, and it is 50 calls that you could do at your own pace. And Elise Chedevi does those, and she will tell you everything that she told us and that we are using to grow our business. And just this final quote I want to leave you with. So, and suddenly you just know it's time to start something new and trust the magic of beginnings. So hopefully this has stirred something inside of you to maybe start thinking of a new beginning and just a shift or a change from hauling buckets and trading time for money to maybe building your own dream and making an impact in the world. And that's all I have to say, Amanda. So can I go ahead and send it back over
I,
to you?
yes, thank you. I mean, you and I have talked about your goal for doTERRA, and how you're looking for it to change your husband having to go to work. He's such a brilliant guy. I mean, he has so many really awesome like mental, and even emotional IQ level that's just fantastic. He's pretty much genius. But I feel like, yeah, like to allow him to be like in a more creative zone where he gets to like do things that he wants to really create and offer value to the world. That would just that would just be amazing, to not have to work for somebody else. So I love that. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that as well too. Very, very beautiful. I think even saw somebody else made a comment too. Yeah, Krista says, Marcella, you're very inspiring and your hubby's lucky to have you. So, oh, and Gina says she's hopping off to go to band practice. Oh, thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, and I did, yeah, thank you guys. I'm also seeing here a question from Krista about Copaiba. So let me answer that super fast before we jump off. I know we're getting kind of long here, but I would say Copaiba, the main thing that I typically think of are pain and inflammation. Okay, well, let's see. Okay, if you know about CBD oil, and how that works with the endocannabinoid system, then that would be like I don't know, like a 12% absorption rate for your own, for your endocannabinoid system to be able to process through that. But for Copaiba, it raises up to about 80%. And because it has kind of like a lock and key interaction with your endocannabinoid system, instead of kind of like a flitty floaty catch some here or there kind of an interaction. So all the things that you heard about for like pain relief, for extra mood support, for calmer sleep. I mean, these are really, really great. I find it very supportive. I even have, certainly like when I was a nursing mom, being able to have something for my aches and pains from being hunched over was fantastic. My husband tells me for Copaiba that when he uses 2 drops under his tongue before he goes to sleep, that not only does he sleep better, but he also wakes up feeling like less pain in the morning. So that's really fantastic. But it's also, if you guys are, it's one of the things that comes in the mind and mood thing, because it does help us be a little bit less irritable or like, yeah, just I get ticked off much less frequently when I'm using it consistently. So that's a really good one. And I tend to prefer my Copaiba in the the 15 ml bottle as opposed to the soft gels. The soft gels are great for people who don't really, not really familiar with using essential oils internally. But Copaiba happens to be very mild flavored, so you can put it under your tongue with no issue. And so I just do 2 drops in the morning and 2 drops in the evening. I find it very supportive. Hey, I see that Chris has a new story. Let's go ahead and bring her on super fast before we jump off. Go ahead, Chris.
You're muted. Chris, you're muted. There you go.
My husband had a suggestion for me last night. I had just gotten my flu shot from the doctor. And if you know anything about seniors, they give you a stronger version of the flu shot. So when they tell you it might hurt, it might burn, yeah, it does. Well, he suggested I rub on some deep blue rub, and it was all swollen last night. So when I woke up this morning, yes, I applied the deep blue rub last night. And when I woke up this morning, lo and behold, the red patch was much smaller and far less painful, and I didn't feel it at all last night. So yeah.
That's fantastic. Thanks for sharing. Yeah.
I honestly love, Krista, I love Deep Blue combined with Copaiba for pain and inflammation. That's one that whenever I've had people complain about pain, that's usually my go-to blend, where I'll just throw in a little bit of Copaiba, a little bit of Deep Blue, and top a roller off with fractionated coconut oil. And that has worked really well for a lot of people for pain and inflammation. That's a great one.
Yay. Oh, you're welcome, Krista. Glad you're getting some help. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and stop the recording, and we're just gonna